So here's a little bit of our post-deployment start. We were doing symbolic victory, I believe it was. Most wounds remaining and within 12 inches of the table at the end of the game. We had no visibility, and we started off with advancing lines. No, that's the wrong one. But anyways, we had the 9-inch deployment zone on each side of the table. Here's an angle of Jordal's list. You can see the big Mao Zedong right in the middle. And to the right of that is his babushka. And then he's got his infantry scattered around different places, some behind the Quonset huts and some on the far side of the table there, behind some storage containers. So just a slightly different angle. You can see Natalia just in front of his tape measure there. A little bit better angle on that. And you can see down beside the Quonset huts, he's actually starting to get some color on some of his figs here. You can see the sulfur thrower is red, and he's been working on adding some color and detail to some of his stuff. His helicopter, he's got totally painted up, and you can see on just behind the tank, the babushka, it's got some color on it now too, a little bit different than the starting green. So color is progressing on his army. So here's a different angle, third angle. You can see his Widowmaker's snipers down there, and then a different angle, a better shot, I should say, of Babushka. You can see some tokens out already because I had a brain fart and didn't start taking photos until after initiative. So a few of his people already have some orders on them from the order phase. So here's my side. You can see down at the bottom of the shot my laser yag grenadier. He's just hanging out, and I got my recon grenadiers behind the corner of the building there that you can't see. Then I got a unit of zombies there, and my snipers hanging out behind those crates, and Ludwig just waiting to unleash. And I had a stupid brain fart because it was a day of brain farts apparently. Misunderstanding my flyer rules. So I had my Fledermaus positioned the wrong way to go off the board. In the end, it did not cause that big an impact. I just had to essentially, this was a wasted travel turn for me. And then I got some more snipers. I should say more zombies there, a little bit farther up. And then my Sturm Pioneers. I paid for the extra command on my Sturm Pioneers, so I had an extra radio man. And then on my lasers, I had high visibility lasers, so hits on the blanks on the extra hit. You can't see them, but inside the building are my heavy lasers and Lara. So here's the reverse angle of that. You can see my Yag Grenadiers up on top of the building. I decided to be crazy and just throw them up there for some reason. Served their purpose. Was not impressed with them as a model. I think both the laser Yag Grenadiers and the Yag Grenadiers are better if they were paired up with another of their own type. So either two of the lasers or two of the regulars. And then you can see just a hint of Lara's arm down there in the corner of the building. So here it is after Jordal's first move. Everybody's just scooched up a little bit. Mao Zedong and Babushka are still hanging out together. Natalia's moved up. All his Faye Kelly and all those people over on the top side of the pick have moved up in between the Quonset huts. Snipers are still hanging out. They moved up a little bit. His Red Guard and his anti-tanks, they've all moved up. They're kind of hanging out in the bunker there. He had a fairly uneventful first round. Took a couple shots at me. No major damage, though. Alright, so here's my half of first turn. You can see I moved my Egg Grenadier up the building, and I successfully took a shot down at his Fake Kelly. I think it was the Fake Kelly down there between the Quonset huts. I reduced them from 5 to 3. So yay me. You can just see a little bit of my heavy laser grenadiers poking up from the front of the building. Lara and her group of 3 hopped out of that building and just marched around the corner. They didn't get a shot off, obviously, because they marched, but they're moving up. My Sturm Pioneers, they moved up here a little bit. You can see my zombies, 2 units. Yes, there's actually 2 units of zombies in this shot. The 5 on the right side did much better, surviving the reaction shots than the 5 on the left. You can see that squad on the left is now down to 1 zombie. That was not how it was supposed to roll. So just a different angle, you can see my zombies have moved up, starting to engage his various infantry units. The dude on the left is about to die a horrible, nasty death. Again, I guess, technically, since he's a zombie. So here you can see my Fledermaus has flown off the board. Again, as I said at the start, wasting a movement turn essentially. You can see the laser Jägergrenadier has moved up a little bit. He took a shot at Mao, did not have a whole lot of success. Over on the right side of the photo, you can't see him because the Recon Grenadiers ran around the corner and hopped in the building, and they've moved up to the edge of that building. So they're still out of sight, but not out of mind. Ludwig sitting back there. He took a shot on his very first turn from Mao Zedong, or on Jordal's very first turn from Mao Zedong, and was blinded. So I could not sustain fire for the rest of the game. And I have no mechanics, so that was never going to get fixed. Still, he performed well. He took no wounds on that one, but he did take the damage from being hit. The rest of the game, he pretty much stands there and uses 36 inches to good effect. Yeah, that's what she said. So here's a different angle of the same turn. You can see now his I think that's his red guard command over there on the right. Actually, that might be the anti-tanks. I don't remember, but anyways, it's down from 5 to 3 because my previously mentioned Recon Grenadiers, they're heavy machine guns and machine guns. They were just close enough to get off some shots, and I did manage to do 2 wounds, whittle them down a little bit. Snipers, he's having some bad luck with. Apparently, they've got their safety on all game, or maybe they're shooting blanks. Who knows? He was not having any luck with those snipers. He spent a lot of time shooting at my nudes down here and not hitting anything. And he has mechanics in his anti-tank. I think that's his anti-tank squad there in front of Natalia. He's got some mechanics in there, and he was having some luck with them. Not enough, but some. So here we're into turn 2. Lara and my heavy lasers have moved up. I spent an action having them all shoot at his fake Kelly down there. Lara throws a ridiculous amount of dice, and yet when I throw them, I suck. I threw all those dice for Lara and then 3 lasers. Admittedly, lasers aren't supposed to be used against infantry, so that's not so bad. But all those dice for Lara and 3 laser dice, and I got 1 wound through. That was just ridiculous. That was supposed to be the killing blow for that unit. However, he survived. And then over there you can see I got into close combat, and I essentially traded 2 zombies for 2 of his infantry unit. Good trade to my mind. Whittle down his range so that my heavy hitters can move up with a little bit less molestation going on. You'll note that his big tank, Mao Zedong, is gone. This was a good turn for me between Ludwig and my laser Jäg laser grenadier. I will get those words out in order at some point. I managed to beat him into pieces. It took 2 turns of fire from all 4 units, but I did wear him down. But 7 armor, man, that's tough. I mean, I was throwing good hits with my heavy laser and with Ludwig, and he's just shrugging them off. Couldn't do it forever. Finally got it down. That was a big relief for me. He's got a big gun and lots of armor, so I was glad to see that gone. But Babushka's no slouch either. So here's a different angle. You can see my zombies have traded. They've good trade, I think, as I said earlier. You can see Lara and her people have moved up. I took their shot that I mentioned earlier and sucked. My Stern Pioneers have moved up a little bit more, but they're still not useful yet, especially with the 6-inch flamethrower. Jäg Grenadier up on top of the building took a shot with sustained fire and still missed all his dice. So that was a little irritating. You hate missing all your dice, even with a reroll. And there you can see Ludwig and the Jagdlaser Grenadiers. They had finished off, excuse me, Mao Zedong this turn. Yay! Um, that was kind of the high point of my game at that point. Like I said, it's always good to get a big tank, something like that, off the board. An over off shot. My Recon Grenadiers still trying to take some shots at his unit. It's over here at the bottom of the frame, but not really having much luck. Also, just in case you're counting, my jet came back on and flew off the side of the board down at the back end of the table there at the end of the shot. Try to get on and be useful next turn. So, inconsistent photo taking. Here's the end of Jordal's second round. You can see he's moved his unit up into the tank traps over here, and he's taken a shot at my heavy laser, my heavy laser grenadiers, my Yag laser grenadier, I should say, to no effect. You can see Natalia's got some wounds on her, the little red tokens, but he's going to be mechanicking those off. He attacked my unit of 3 zombies. I reacted and ran away with them. I was hoping to get all 3 of them around the corner such that he wouldn't be able to see them, but that did not work out. So between the unit in the shot there that they were already engaged with, and then the unit out of shot, they have been reduced to 1 from 3. So, sad zombie. So here's a slightly different angle. You can see he's moved up Natalia, effectively protecting Babushka from Ludwig. But judging by some of the conversation we had at the time, I don't think he meant to do that, but it was an effective way of protecting his big gun. I was somewhat irritated by that development. But, I mean, this stuff was going to have to get cleared out anyways. It just made me reprioritize it a little bit. I'd been starting to concentrate on Babushka because she was taking pot shots at me. This turn, she did manage to get 2 wounds onto Ludwig. Luckily for no system damage. I'm still blinded, like I said, because I've got no mechanics to fix that. But in one turn, she reduced Ludwig by half his wounds. So that was actually a bit of a scary turn. There is no useful commentary for this segment. So here we are, somewhere late third, early fourth again. I was inconsistent in my photo taking after the second round. I apologize. Makes for a somewhat disjointed bat rep. But you can see the wound tokens piling up on Ludwig's card over there. He's 3. I won initiative this round, and as you can see, I did remove Natalia, but that did open up me, my Ludwig, to a lot more, the full brunt of Babushka's attacks. So, boo, but he survived. He went from 2 to 3. I really did think I was going to lose it, but sometimes armor 4 is what you need. You can see I've jumped my Recon Grenadiers out of the building, and they're moving up. Against his heavy tank, his anti-tank, and his Red Guard command over there. His sniper's still just hanging out, not shooting anything. Apparently, there's no ammo in those ammo crates they're standing beside. You can see on the left side of the screen there, my Horton is on the table. The base is actually there to the right of Babushka. I'm going to have to file that down and open up the hole a little bit on the bottom because that thing refuses to stay on the base and be moved. But he did come on, fly up, and try to drop some bombs on Babushka, which failed. Well, they hit, but he armored his way out of it. It was disappointing. I think I got 1 wound on him. It was not good. The mechanics did not keep Natalia alive long enough to make a real difference here. Michael's not keen on all the variants of Natalia, Nadia, and whatever the other one is. But he was hoping the close combat model would be a little bit more productive for him this game. It did. It chewed up my zombies pretty good. But again, he's not keen on the generally mid-range feel that his units have here for the SSU. He's looking for more options. I mean, he likes the tank and he likes the babushka, but I think he wants more range. So there you can see also my Stern Pioneer platoon has moved up a little bit. We've put down a marker there in the middle of this table there as we're starting to worry about getting our forces in for the 12 inches at the end. Oh yeah, and my plane, like I said, it did come on and drop some bombs. And then it shot up the rest of that, the fake Elliot, the Medvedi, whatever he had there. Anyways, the ones that had been fighting my zombies. So he finished those off, so that was good. Not so good bombs, but some good strafing from the plane. So here we are, definitely into round five. This is pretty much just wrapping up the game. Um, you can see my Horton has flown up. He didn't have any bombs. He didn't have the range to drop the bombs on Babushka, but you'll notice Babushka is gone. I'll get to that in a minute. Horton did. The Fledermaus did finish his compulsory move and drop bombs on the remaining unit that Michael had out there of infantry, and pretty much removed those, and then just swung around to stay within 12 of the center, and that allowed my heavy lasers and Lara to come up unmolested. And then I rolled a ridiculous number of wounds. Lara, even against Babushka's armor, rolled well, and well, for her guns, anyways. And then my lasers, I think on the first shot, all three of them got wounds, and then on the second shot, two of them got more hits. So I had a ridiculous number of wounds that he could not armor his way out of. He'd already been injured, like I said. His mechanics were trying, but he was not having as much success as he needed to keep him alive. Might have been a different game, going into the last turn if he could have gotten Babushka up there with more wounds, but that's not the way it worked out. I'm not necessarily saying it wouldn't have made a difference, but it certainly would have been closer on the score. You can see my Recon Grenadiers had moved up. He peppered me last turn and reacted with an attack on my way by this turn, so you can see I'm down from 5 to 2. And I've also moved up my Yeg Grenadier, and I brought Ludwig up with his one wound. One wasn't going to make a difference, but just in case. You can see my Yeg Laser Grenadier is gone. He did manage to take that out last turn. He was peppering that. His snipers did become somewhat effective, and he peppered that to pieces. Eventually did the 3 wounds to that with that and something else. But yeah, he managed to take that out. So you see he doesn't have a lot of wounds there in the center of the table. I did end up winning this, I believe, 19-7. Mostly thanks to an undamaged Fledermaus. There was 6 wounds right there. And then Lara and her crew were unmolested. So I mean, between the Horton and Lara, I had 10 wounds on the board right there. And if you could have gotten Babushka in there and unmolested, that would have tightened things up. And if you could have taken out Ludwig and my Recon Grenadiers, that would have been a much tighter game. Both of us had some dry spells with our dice. Mine warmed up a little bit more. Still, this was a good game. It was much tighter than the score indicates. I got 2 really lucky shots when it came to taking out his Babushka and his Mao Zedong. That was a lot of armor that I had to grind through, and Mao Zedong especially. He was not able to counterattack well, and same with Babushka. I mean, I was doing a few wounds. I ground, the whole game to take both those units off, and unfortunately, his dice just weren't working for him, and mine were on the armor save. So, I mean, it was a good game. I always enjoy playing Michael, whatever game we play. So I happen to be on the winning side this time, unlike the last Warhammer Bat Rep, which was boring apparently, and I will agree with that. So yeah, looking forward to getting another game in. Probably not gonna be for a couple of weeks here. He's got some Warhammer prep for a tournament coming up, and I'm going on vacation, and we've already got some Dark Age lined up for when I get back. So hopefully I'll be able to make a photo bat rep of that too. So yeah, this was Dust, 300 points, Axes versus SSU. Thanks for watching. Any comments are appreciated.